Welcome to Mystic Realms Recap. Please like, share, and subscribe. Enjoy today's episode.
Boom, 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 boom. Densely packed, bright beams of light shot towards the camp of the fallen angel army. There are millions of ways, like a dense meteor shower across the sky. At this time, bursts of roars and roars sounded in the camp of the fallen angel army. Immediately afterwards, layer after layer of law barriers appeared, blocking the front of those energy beams. Bang, 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 accompanied by bursts of loud noises and a series of violent explosions. The dense energy beams all hit the law barriers, causing them to tremble and break apart layer by layer. Energy beam from the battleship of the Medusa Empire. The law shield comes from more than 100 abyss dragons belonging to the fallen angel camp. More than 100 abyss dragons are more than 100 powerful demigods, and more than 100 layers of law barriers. It is simply not something that the warships of the Medusa Empire can destroy. It is still possible to switch to this city of angels, of the Holy Angel Legion. Oh my god, that's the Abyss Demonic Dragon, a powerful creature from the underworld camp. How come they appear here and join the Angel Clan's camp? More than 100 demigod-level Abyss dragons. Are they going to destroy the entire world? On the waves in the distance, a strong man from the Sea Clan was shouting in horror. Queen Medusa and others standing on the deck of a battleship were also shocked. Looking at their entire Medusa Empire, even the Sea Clan and the Sea Beast Army, the total number of demigods does not exceed 100, which is already very amazing. The Orc Royal Court, which was destroyed by the Angel Army, only had a few dozen demigods. On the other hand, the army of fallen angels in front of them consisted of more than 100 demigod-level abyss dragons when they were dispatched, which was simply terrifying. The most important is, since when did the underworld cooperate with the Angel Clan? In the camp of the fallen angel army, they not only saw the figure of the abyss dragon, but also saw a large number of three-headed hell dogs, controlled by high-ranking fallen angels one after another. People who don't know the inside story would really think that the underworld has joined forces with the angel family. But who knows, the underworld is just a victim. Of course, it doesn't matter. The important thing is that the more than 100 abyss dragons are not just for defense. Under the control of the 10-winged fallen angels, they directly kill the Sea Army and Sea Beast Army of the Medusa Empire. This scene instantly shocked the powerful men of the Medusa Empire, because those 10-winged fallen angels who control the abyss dragon are basically at the demigod level. Only a very few are at the pinnacle of the Holy Order. To put it bluntly, what they were about to face was an attack by more than 200 demigods. More than 200 demigods were enough to bloodbath their Sea Clan army and Sea Beast army. This is a wrong decision, a strong man from the Sea tribe blurted out. If we had known that the strength of the angel army was so terrifying, we should not have come to support the dragon tribe. In comparison, turtles huddled in the deep sea still have a chance of survival. These words were not criticized or refuted, because many strong people from the Sea tribe think like this. Even Queen Medusa, who was holding the Poseidon trident, felt a little regretful. The war strength of the fallen angel army far exceeded her imagination. She originally thought that the size of the angel army would not be too large. After all, this was just a small and incomplete floating island world, not worthy of the Angel Clan's covetousness. Who would have thought that the Angel Clan would be an army of millions upon dispatch? Moreover, the number of powerful people at the demigod level is as high as hundreds. This is simply bullying. Gathering all the demigods on the entire floating island, there may only be 200 or 300, which is not as many as the number of demigods in this angel army camp. What Queen Medusa doesn't know is, this is just an army of angels under Lin Yu. In the underground world, in the land of abundance, and on the floating island in another world, Lin Yu has more angel armies fighting. Especially on the floating island in another world, the total size of the angel army invested by Lin Yu has exceeded tens of millions. If all the angel legions were gathered together, that's real bullying. Just when Queen Medusa's army was preparing to fight the incoming Abyss Dragon, the attack of the Nature Elf Empire has also arrived. However, what everyone did not expect was that the attack of the Natural Elf army was not directed at the fallen angel camp, but turned its guns around and directly bombarded the Sea Clan army and Sea Beast army. Millions of energy beams streaked across the sky with lightning speed. It blasted into the camp of the Sea Clan army and Sea Beast army. In an instant, a deafening roar sounded, and the huge waves were torn into pieces. I don't know how many sea tribes and sea beasts died on the spot. The dazzling blood dyed the sea water red in the blink of an eye. In fact, some powerful people from the sea tribe reacted in advance and used their own fields or the power of laws to resist. But you must know that it was a concentrated bombardment from tens of thousands of elven warships. How could they possibly block them all? And this is a surprise attack by the natural elf army. It is also normal to cause huge casualties to Queen Medusa's army. There were huge waves, and the water was dyed red. Corpses were everywhere, and countless sea tribes and sea beasts were howling miserably. They were lucky enough to escape and were not directly bombarded by the dense energy beam, but they were basically missing arms and legs. Some were even blasted through their bodies, with their internal organs flowing everywhere. This sudden attack shocked the Medusa clan and the Dragon clan. The natural elf empire, like them, is a native force in this world. And it is also a famous advanced intelligent race. The nature elves have great prestige and power in this world. In terms of racial strength alone, the Dragon clan cannot compare to the natural elf empire. This is also one of the reasons why the Dragon clan did not go to the land, but multiplied on the 36 islands in the bay. If you go to land, you may have friction with the natural elf empire. From the perspective of the Dragon clan and the Medusa clan, it is absolutely impossible for the natural elf empire to surrender to the kingdom of heaven. The reason why the holy sea of light and land of abundance took refuge is because the God of faith of those Illuminati believers is the Lord of holy light of the angel clan. Even if they take refuge, it would not be unbelievable. But what about the nature elf empire? Their gods of faith are the goddesses of nature and spirits. Moreover, the goddess of nature and elves is also the founder and mother goddess of the natural elves. They have absolutely no reason to betray their mother goddess and switch to the faith of the holy light. This is something that would never happen under normal circumstances. Grassit, what on earth are you doing? A roar resounded throughout the world. It's Dragon King angst. The anger in his heart was stronger than that of Queen Medusa, who was attacked by surprise and caused damage to the army. Obviously, he has seen hope. As a result, the natural elf empire personally ruined his hopes. At this moment, the image of the Dragon clan being slaughtered by those fallen angels even appeared in his mind. All of this was caused by the Queen of Nature elf, Grasset. If she hadn't betrayed her faith and betrayed the world, the forces of the three camps unite and have every hope of repelling this army of fallen angels. After all three of their clans possess artifacts. The artifact of the Nature Elf Empire is the Sun Elf Crown. The artifact of the Medusa Empire is the Poseidon Trident. The Dragon Clan's artifact is the Dragon King's Heart. The so-called Heart of the Dragon King is actually a godhead transformed into an artifact, a true god from the Dragon Clan. The power it releases can reach the level of a lower true god. Dragon King Angst is ready to use the Dragon King's Heart. The target he wanted to kill was the four-winged fallen angel that was hundreds of meters high. As for the Queen of Nature Elf and Queen Medusa, they only need to kill the other demigod-level fallen angels. As long as the three of them stick together, this war is not necessarily lost. But now, the actions of the Natural Elf Empire directly shattered Dragon King Angst's illusions, completely destroyed his plans, and put him in a desperate situation. He was naturally extremely angry. At the same time, Queen Medusa also looked at the army camp of the Natural Elf Empire with an angry and disbelieving look. In front of that army of elven airships was an extremely large war airship. The Nature Elf Queen Grassit, as well as the senior officials and powerful men of the Nature Elf Empire, gathered on the deck of the war airship. In order to cope with this war, not only the Queen of Nature Spirits, Grasset, has arrived. She also brought all the high-ranking and powerful people under her empire. It can be said to be an all-out effort. However, her position is on the side of the Angel clan. Grist, why are you doing this? This is a question from Queen Medusa. She holds a dazzling golden Poseidon trident, and her golden snake hair is fluttering in the wind. She stood in the sky above the huge waves, looking at the queen of nature elf, Grasset, who was tens of thousands of meters away. The queen of nature elf was silent for a moment and said, "I follow the oracle under the goddess's crown and embrace the sacred and the light. It is the destined fate of this world to be under the command of the holy light, and no one can resist it." Hear this. Queen Medusa and Dragon King Angost were immediately shocked. The natural elf empire surrendered to the Paradise Kingdom. Is this an order from the goddess of nature and elf? How can this be? Shouldn't the floating island world be a place abandoned by gods? The thoughts and miracles of the true God cannot come to this world. The top leaders of all races are very aware of this matter. How could they know that the goddess of nature and elves not only came to this world, but also went to the holy city to meet the Lord of Holy Light of the angel clan? Shortly after the goddess of nature and elves returned to the battlefield of all realms, she conveyed the oracle to the empire of nature elves. That is to follow the angel clan and work hard. Serve the Lord of Light with all your heart. It was under such an oracle that the natural elf empire chose to give up resistance. Then the scene just now appeared. Since they are on the side of Heaven Kingdom, they naturally want to help the angel army win this war. The horn of war has sounded. The army of more than 5 million fallen angels was divided into two, heading towards the central Dragon Island and Queen Medusa's Sea Army and Sea Beast Army respectively. The army of the natural elf empire also followed the footsteps of the fallen angels. Killed the army of the Medusa empire. Suddenly, the sound of war drums and shouts of death resounded throughout the world. Kajisha was the bravest and took the lead in rushing into the dragon army's camp. Her size is more than 100 meters tall, and she is not far behind even when facing an adult dragon. She was seen wielding the dozens of meters-long fallen angel sword in her hand, and each sword could produce a huge sword light. Wherever the sword light passed, the mountains were cut into two halves. As for the giant dragon, it turned into two corpses. It can be said that no dragon can resist Kajusha, who is a super hell warrior. Not even a giant dragon with a demigod realm. On the contrary, to Kajisha, a giant dragon in the demigod realm is no different from a weak lizard. The combat power of the lower true god level can be said to be invincible on such a battlefield. Even the top experts holding artifacts are no match for her. Kajusha, who was combined into a super hell warrior, the angel armor on her body and the fallen angel sword in her hand, are equivalent to artifacts. He saw his people dying in Kajisha's hands in droves. Dragon King Angst couldn't help it anymore. As the strongest man and leader of the Dragon clan, he has the obligation to stand up and protect his people at this time. Therefore, he stood in front of Kajusha. He transformed back into his true form, took out another bright golden gem, and swallowed it in one gulp. In an instant, a terrifying aura appeared on Dragon King Angst's body. This golden gem is the Dragon clan's most precious treasure, the artifact-level heart of the Dragon King. Infused with the powerful energy of the Dragon King's heart, Dragon King Angst's strength forcibly broke into the level of true gods, barely comparable to ordinary low-level true gods. Evil angel, bear the wrath of the dragon god. Dragon King Angst roared. Immediately afterwards, a hot dragon's breath was sprayed towards Kajisha. Kajisha saw it. Just kill it with a sword. The dazzling sword light cut the dragon's breath into two pieces. Without losing its force, he slashed straight at Dragon King Angst. This scene scared Dragon King Angst to the point of breaking out in cold sweat, and he immediately dodged. He roared at Kajusha, "You have the courage to fight with me in the sky over the sea." After saying that, he flapped his dragon wings and flew towards the open sea in the distance. There were a large number of giant dragons and subdragon monsters on the battlefield. He felt that he couldn't let go, so he proposed to go to the open sea for a duel. Kajisha naturally had no reason to back down. The 4 fallen angel wings behind her shook slightly, and she followed. The 12-winged fallen angels on the battlefield saw this scene and did not say anything to stop it, nor were they worried at all. If they can't kill even a giant dragon in the mortal world, then they are not the super hell warriors of their fallen angel camp. After all, Even the weakest super hell warriors were created to kill gods. The wars soon became intense. The high-ranking fallen angels slaughtered everyone on the battlefield, especially those 10-winged fallen angels riding the abyss dragon and the 12-winged fallen angels who are all at the peak demigod level. They are simply the destroyers of the enemy camp. Wherever they did, a large number of enemies were torn into pieces by them. At the same time, the blood and soul origin were all devoured by them. Whether it is the blood and soul of giant dragons, subdragons, or sea beasts, the fallen angels will accept all comers and convert them into pure energy and incorporate them into their bodies. This is a shortcut for them to quickly improve their level. As the war continues, more and more giant dragons and subdragon monsters fell on the battlefield. The powerful army of fallen angels killed the proud dragons until they were almost frightened. The gap is really huge. Especially those subdragon monsters, they are just like cannon fodder. Although it has a scale of up to 3 million, it does not pose the slightest threat to the fallen angel army. Instead, it is slaughtered like an experienced baby. A subdragon monster that can be called a boss in front of professionals. But he was so weak and vulnerable in front of the fallen angels. Their corpses fell from the sky like heavy rain. In the blink of an eye, the land of Dragon Island below was dyed red. The other side, the Sea Army and Sea Beast Army headed by Queen Medusa were also bloodbathed by the fallen angel army. Countless fallen angels shook their wings and charged into the huge waves. The huge waves are the territory of the Sea Clan Army and the Sea Beast Army. It is their most powerful weapon against their enemies. In many wars, they do not even need to come into direct contact with the enemy. They can cause huge casualties to the enemy simply by using huge waves. They create the power of nature. However, this power still cannot threaten the fallen angel army. After all, angels are an air combat unit. The high-ranking fallen angels were not even afraid of the waves and rushed into the huge waves to engage in an extremely shocking naval battle with the sea tribe and sea beasts. At the same time, the army of the natural elf empire also came to kill them. They controlled more than 50,000 elven airships, bombarding the Sea Clan army and Sea Beast army, while standing on the deck to attack the Sea Clan warriors and sea beasts. The nature spirits did not rush into the waves. After all, their fighting power is not as strong as that of angels. Entering rashly will only make them a delicious meal for those sea beasts. It's not too late. In the distant sky, a towering white giant city slowly flew towards it. But he appeared above the battlefield in the blink of an eye. On top of the city wall stood the handsome figure of Lin Yu, as well as the increasingly dazzling Secretarian, the Saint of Light, Tiffany, and others. The majestic city of angels crashed into the clouds and hung high in the sky. Lin Yu and others stood on the city wall, overlooking everything below. He saw the big melee on the central Dragon Island. I saw densely packed dragons and subdragon monsters rushing forward and falling to the bloody sword of the fallen angel. I saw the army of the natural elf empire cooperating with the army of fallen angels, the sea warriors who madly slaughtered Queen Medusa and countless sea beasts. I also saw the fight between the Dragon King Angst and the super hell warrior Kajusha in the distant open sea. The overall war scene is quite shocking. It was much more shocking than the previous attack on the Orc King's capital. After all, those participating in this war are basically top-notch military units. There are angels, nature spirits, dragons, Medusa, and countless huge sea beasts. Scenes like this are not often seen. Lin Yu overlooked the battlefield on Central Dragon Island and said with a smile, "This is the first time I have seen so many types of dragons." The dragons on the battlefield can be said to be of all kinds. There are gold dragons and silver dragons with high status. There are 5-color evil dragons such as the famous Dark Dragon, Frost Dragon, and Flame Dragon. There are metal dragons such as bronze dragons and brass dragons that are huge and look like they are made of metal. There are also gem dragons such as emerald dragons, sapphire dragons, diamond dragons, etc. that look extremely dreamy and beautiful. These giant dragons of different types and shapes can be regarded as an eye-opener for Lin Yu. There are indeed many types of dragons. Angelia said, "Like our angel clan, special dragons are also very rare." I looked at the entire battlefield and there are only 3 special dragon species. They are 2 space dragons and a smoke dragon. Smoke dragon? Lin Yu looked puzzled. He looked carefully at the battlefield below and soon discovered the figure of this special dragon. It overall looks like a dragon-shaped smoke. Appears black-gray. It shuttled wantonly across the battlefield. The sword light from the fallen angels always passed through its body when slashing at it. Apart from taking away wisps of gray smoke, it didn't seem to hurt it at all. What special abilities does the smoke dragon have? Report to my lord, Angelia said respectfully. Smoke dragons are immune to attacks on the physical level. They have no physical dragon body, and they will not die even if their bodies are exploded. Its power can easily enter the enemy's body and destroy it from within. This kind of dragon is very rare and is also a nightmare for many creatures. In general, the smoke dragon is difficult to kill, and its attacks can make the enemy hard to guard against. Such a creature can indeed give people a headache. However, in Lin Yu's eyes, this smoke dragon is a good thing. You can capture it and study it carefully. With this in mind, Lin Yu took action without hesitation. He punched and shattered the space in front of him. Then he reached in. At the same time, on the battlefield on the central dragon island, a huge hand of law appeared out of thin air above the body of the smoke dragon. This smoke dragon is fighting the fallen angels without any scruples. The sudden appearance of the hand of law startled it. It sensed the terrifying aura contained in the hand of law, and without saying a word, it self-destructed and turned into a piece of gray smoke that dissipated between heaven and earth. Have to say, this method of escape is really powerful. He was even more perverted than the ghost dragon emperor who was instantly killed by Victoria with one sword. Most people simply can't catch it. However, Lin Yu is obviously not an ordinary person. Under his control, time reversed in the area where the smoke dragon disappeared. The smoke dragon, which had escaped without a trace, was forcibly pulled back, and with a confused look on its face, it was grabbed by Lin Yu's hand of law and imprisoned. Lin Yu's hand of law contains more than 60 kinds of law origins with different attributes. This also includes time and space. In just an instant, the time and space around the smoke dragon was sealed. Even if it self-destructs again and again, it cannot escape Lin Yu's grasp. Soon, it appeared in front of Lin Yu. A look of malaise and despair. It knew it was wrong. Whether it was the human who caught it or the 12-winged holy angel standing next to it, the aura exuding from it was so powerful that it felt frightened. It's like a mortal meeting a god. The gap is too big to contend with. Be good, or I'll kill you. While speaking, Lin Yu punched a mark into the smoke dragon's body. Soon, the soul of the smoke dragon was controlled by him. During this process, the smoke dragon struggled instinctively, but could not resist, and could only let Lin Yu control its soul. It went very smoothly, and the smoke dragon became Lin Yu's second dragon pet. The first dragon pet is the fairy dragon Nasha. She is currently fighting on the floating island in another world with the elf queen Bernina. Owner, after the confinement is lifted, the smoke dragon prostrated obediently in front of Lin Yu, extremely obedient and obedient. Its essence is also fully revealed. The body length is only about 50 meters, which is at least 3 times smaller than the 5-color evil dragon that is also at the demigod level. Its whole body is densely covered with shining scales, and it looks very mysterious. Lin Yu nodded slightly. Then let it return to the battlefield. Prepare to study it carefully after the war is over. An inexplicable feeling told him that the ability of this smoke dragon would be very helpful to him. After catching the smoke dragon, Lin Yu didn't take action again. Angelia also took no part in the war below. Killing didn't mean much to either of them. As a lord professional, Lin Yu can obtain original energy rewards by killing enemies through his armies, even if he does not personally participate in the battle. Since Lin Yu was promoted to the late stage of demigod, all the original energy he obtained was suppressed in his body using the power of creation. Thanks to the help of the power of creation. Without this supreme power, his realm would have been broken by the huge source energy in his body. Even if he didn't want to light the divine fire, he couldn't help it. With the power of creation, he can fully improve his foundation before igniting the divine fire. When he becomes a god in the future, he will definitely be able to soar into the sky. As for Angelia, she is already a peak demigod. Accessing source energy is equally unhelpful. Therefore, both of them just watched the battle quietly. However, for the strong men of the dragon and sea camps on the battlefield, Lin Yu and Angelia, even if they do not participate in the battle, are enough to bring huge pressure to them. Especially Lin Yu. He grabbed the smoke dragon with one hand. This scene can frighten the strong men of the giant dragon clan. You must know that the smoke dragon is a special dragon at the demigod level. Its strength and abilities are so weird that even the Dragon King Angst, who possesses the heart of the Dragon King, can't do anything with it. In the entire dragon clan, the smoke dragon is an extremely special existence, and he has the identity of an elder of the dragon clan. As a result, it was done in one move. And in the end, he became Lin Yu's dragon pet. After rejoining the battlefield, he helped the fallen angel army suppress the giant dragons and subdragon monsters on the battlefield. This was a huge blow to the morale of the Dragon Legion. Of course, the most important thing is the appearance of City of Angels. Medium-sized City of Angels, 180,000 meters in length and breadth, is incredibly huge. It is suspended in the sky above the battlefield, like an unattainable divine city that presses on the hearts of all the powerful dragon and sea tribes. Such a giant war city, let alone attacking them, even if it just fell from the sky, it would be enough to crush them all to death. The appearance of Angel City brought huge panic to the dragon and sea warriors on the battlefield. It also made them more desperate. Just when the war was heating up, Island Chat Channel has also become very lively. The news that the fallen angel army attacked the central dragon island was spread to the chat channel, and there were also kingdom professionals who brought so-called frontline information. Of course, no kingdom professionals will participate in this war, because their level is too low. Most of them are mid-level professionals, and a few are high-level professionals. As for professionals who have reached the king level, no one has appeared so far, whether it is a combat profession or a lord profession, except for Lin Yu. With their current strength, they can only compete with the foreign professionals from the floating island in another world. If it were a regular army of local forces, they would be cannon fodder. Only a few subdragon monsters are enough to kill 7 in their camp, let alone the top local creatures such as dragons and medusas on the battlefield. The reason why they were able to get frontline news was because they happened to be on a nearby island. Because of the sheer scale of this war, they were able to peek even from a long distance away. The war has begun, brothers. Boss Lin Yu's army of fallen angels is so powerful. While suppressing the Dragon Clan Legion of the Central Island Dragon, they are also frantically slaughtering those Sea Clan. They are simply invincible. I saw a fallen angel that was more than 100 meters tall, pressing a huge golden dragon into the sky and beating it violently. According to my speculation, that golden dragon should be the leader of the Dragon Clan. The Natural Elf Empire also joins the war. This is a grand battle between the 4 superpowers. However, it seems that the Natural Elf Empire is not here to help the Dragon Clan, but is joining forces with the Fallen Angel Army to eliminate the Sea Clan Army and Sea Beast Army under Queen Medusa. Real or fake? Has the Natural Elf Empire, like the Holy Sea of Light, surrendered to Boss Lin Yu early? Although it is hard to believe, it should be true. Damn it, Boss Lin Yu is so awesome. Even the powerful Natural Elf Empire surrendered without a fight. Do you know what the name of the Queen of Nature Elf is? Grassit. Before the war started, I heard the roars of the Dragon King and Queen Medusa, asking the Queen of Nature Elf why she betrayed them. In the end, what do you think the Queen of Nature Elf answered? She said this was an oracle from the goddess of nature and elves. How can this be? Isn't the goddess of nature and elves the supreme deity on the battlefield of all realms? Why would you pay attention to the war in a small floating island world? This has to mention the identity of Boss Lin Yu. According to the Illuminati believers, Boss Lin Yu is the Lord of Holy Light of the Angel Clan and the founder of the Holy and Light Camp. His status is incredibly high. It is said that in the world of gods, the most important thing is personality. Based on Mr. Lin Yu's status, even if a true god appears, he still has to call Mr. Lin Yu His Majesty. Otherwise, it would be disrespectful and an enemy of the entire holy and bright camp. If it is true, this identity alone makes him invincible. Sure enough, you still have to look at the background when you come out to hang out. The battle continued into the afternoon. The Dragon Army and Subdragon Army on the central Dragon Island were defeated first. This is because the Dragon King angst they were loyal to was suppressed by the Super Hell Warrior Kajisha. Dragon King angst has fully unleashed the power of the artifact, Dragon King's Heart, but he is still no match for the Super Hell Warrior Kajisha. Its dragon body was pierced by the sword of the fallen angel. The artifact inside the body, the heart of the Dragon King, was forcibly stripped out by Kajisha. In the end, Angast, who lost the heart of the Dragon King, was beheaded by Kajisha on the spot. Until death, it did not surrender. Of course, Kajisha didn't give it a chance to surrender. After killing Dragon King Angast, Kajisha sealed Angast's body and soul, preparing to take them back to cultivate other fallen angels. Ever since Victoria came to the floating island world, the fallen angels under Lin Yu began to train Super Hell warriors with all their strength. Kajisha was the first, but not the last one. As the war continues, more and more Super Hell soldiers will appear. Of course, when the number reaches a certain level, these Super Hell warriors will continue to fuse and become higher-level Super Hell warriors. Just like Kajisha. Her current energy angel heart level is low. The combat power is comparable to that of the lower true gods. Once integrated with the other 9 Super Hell warriors of the same level, her energy angel heart can be upgraded to the intermediate level, and her combat power is comparable to that of a mid-level true god. The Super Hell warriors developed by the 18-winged fallen archangel Astia are the most powerful and can rival the Lord God, who possesses great divine power. And with the death of Dragon King Angst, the morale of the dragon army suddenly fell to the bottom. There were many giant dragons and subdragon monsters who couldn't hold on and chose to lower their heads. There are also diehards who say that even if they die on the battlefield, they will not betray the dragon god they believe in, let alone give up the dignity and glory of being a dragon. For these diehard elements, the fallen angel army's approach is to kill. Kill them until they collapse. Kill them until they are afraid. Kill them until they surrender in despair. Compared to holy angels, fallen angels are more ruthless and cruel. Even the famous giant monsters in the underworld are just playthings in their hands, let alone the intelligent races in the mortal world. As a highly intelligent species, the dragons are no different from ants in their eyes. According to incomplete statistics, after the war on Central Dragon Island ended, a total of about 400,000 giant dragons and nearly 1.6 million subdragon monsters surrendered and chose to surrender to the kingdom of heaven. As for the others, they all fell on the battlefield. And this also means that the Dragon Clan forces were conquered by the Angel Kingdom. The 36 islands in the bay will also be included in the ruling area of Paradise Kingdom. The Edge of the Sea Clan. Under the orders of the Medusa clan, the huge sea army and the sea beast army have been very tenacious in resisting the attacks of the fallen angel army and the natural elf empire. Even a nearby island was hit and sunk, but they did not surrender. That's because Queen Medusa keeps insisting. She was unwilling to bow her head to the Heaven Kingdom. Under the influence of the artifact in her hand, the Poseidon Trident, the Sea Clan army and Sea Beast army were unable to surrender. Their wills were controlled by the Poseidon Trident. Cisna, your persistence is meaningless. These words came from the Queen of Nature elf, Grasset. She also joined the war. Cooperate with 2 12-winged fallen angels to besiege Queen Medusa. The battlefield was littered with Medusas and the corpses of strong men from the Sea tribe. Before that, there were at least hundreds of strong men from the Sea clan killed by the 3 of them. Among them are many demigod-level sea people. The great elder of the empire who had been accompanying Queen Medusa also died. She was also a strong person at the peak level of demigod. She was beheaded by a 12-winged fallen angel who participated in the battle, and her body was devoured into a mummy. On this battlefield of top experts, only Queen Medusa is left. She holds the golden trident of Poseidon. The golden snake hair flutters in the wind. She has a proud figure and a beautiful face. A stream of blood overflowed from the corner of his mouth, which looked even more poignant when paired with his slightly pale cheeks. However, her expression remained cold. The golden vertical pupils showed no fear when looking at the Queen of Nature elf and the two 12-winged fallen angels. She was mentally prepared to die. "Surrender," Queen Grace of the Nature elf said. "This may be your last chance. Although you are brave and fearless, can you watch the Medusa family be destroyed? Your persistence will not only ruin yourself and your tribe, and those sea tribes who are loyal to you." Hearing this, Queen Medusa Cisna said expressionlessly, "Krista, I am different from you. My Medusa family is a race cursed by the gods. Life is more painful than death. There are legends about the Medusa family, and the Queen of Nature elf has also heard of them. The Lord of Holy Light possesses a power that even the supreme gods cannot contend with. Removing your racial curse shouldn't be a problem if he's willing. The premise is that your Medusa family can get the favor of the Lord of Holy Light." Hearing this, Queen Medusa Cisna was stunned. She seemed to have never thought about this question. In Greek mythology, Medusa is not a race, but a personal name. Her father was Phorcys, a primitive sea god who was known as the father of all monsters. Grandmother is the earth goddess Gaia, who created the Olympus world. Interestingly, Medusa in Greek mythology is also called the Gorgon. She has a very terrifying ability. That is, anyone who looks into her eyes will be turned to stone. Even the Greek gods couldn't resist. Medusa's fate was very tragic. She was originally a beautiful girl, but she was our ****D by Poseidon, the god of the sea. Later, he was beheaded by the hero Perseus, and his head was cut off and presented to Athena, the goddess of war and wisdom. Finally, it was embedded in Athena's aegis. Medusa on the floating island also has the ability to petrify enemies. They are also called gorgons. The notoriety on the sea exceeds that of mermaids who can charm humans. The difference is, the Medusas of the floating island are a race. They were not originally half human and half snake like they are now. They are cursed. According to legend, the ancestor of the Medusa family was a very powerful sea god. But unlike the famous sea goddess, the sea goddess was the attribute god of the goddess of nature and elves. The ancestor of the Medusa family is a main god of the ocean with an independent god. To put it simply, there is no backstage support. There are rumors that the ancestors of the Medusa family offended the cursed goddess, the supreme god, and therefore suffered a terrible blood curse. There are also rumors that the cursed goddess is jealous of the beauty of the ancestors of the Medusa family. But whatever the reason, the Medusa family is indeed cursed by their bloodline. This curse has always affected the Medusa family, not only turning them into half-human, half-snake sea monsters, but also cutting off their path to becoming gods. Yes, the Medusa family cannot become gods. Even if Medusa, no matter how talented she is, successfully enters the battlefield of all realms, they cannot condense their divine power. If it is forcibly condensed, the godhead will explode the moment it takes shape. Medusa died violently. Compared with other intelligent races, the Medusa family not only does not have its own god of faith, but also does not have the protection of the true god of the race. They are a completely abandoned race. Compared with the dark elves who abandoned their race for gods, they will also receive the care of the true god of their race when they reach the battlefield of all realms. But the Medusa family did not, because their race does not have a true god. After the ancestors of the Medusa family, no Medusa has become a god. In the extraordinary world, the fate of a race that cannot become gods can be imagined. Compared with Medusa in Greek mythology, the Medusa family in the floating island world is even more tragic. Ask the Lord of Holy Light to lift the blood curse of our race. Queen Medusa Cisna instantly fell silent after hearing the words of the Queen of Nature elf. Her inner world was in turmoil. The constant persistence also wavered. If the Lord of Holy Light can really help them, their Medusa family will be able to have a future of their own. In comparison, becoming a believer in the Lord of Holy Light is just a trivial matter. But the problem is the Lord of Holy Light really willing to help them? After all, they are Gorgons, an evil race cursed by the supreme god. Looking at the battlefields of all realms, there are so many supreme gods, but no one is willing to help their Medusa family. even if their ancestors gave everything. Just at this time, the nature elf Queen Grasseed added, I don't know if your majesty the Lord of Holy Light will favor you, but what I know is that your majesty the Lord of Holy Light has a higher status than the goddess of curse. If there is anyone in the universe who can lift the curse for you, then he must be the Lord of Holy Light. The hope of breaking the curse is just around the corner. It depends on whether you can catch it. Hearing this, Queen Medusa Cisna's body suddenly trembled. Hope is a very luxurious word for the Medusa clan. For tens of millions of years, they have never truly embraced hope. The racial talent of the Medusa family is very high. Throughout the ages, the strongest demigods of the Medusa family have gone to the battlefields of all realms to find hope of breaking the curse. But until now, the curse still hangs over them. After so many years, they have become accustomed to eating and waiting to die in the depths of the ocean. But now, the sudden words of the Queen of Nature Elf seemed to open a new door for Queen Medusa in an instant. It seemed that they still had a chance to see the world behind the door. I see. I am willing to surrender. I am willing to lead my Medusa clan and all the sea clans to believe in the great Lord of Holy Light. Medusa Queen Cisna's mentality changed quickly. While waving the dazzling golden Poseidon trident in her hand, she said like a prayer, I only hope that the merciful Lord of Holy Light can have mercy on us. As soon as the words fell, all the sea warriors on the battlefield put down their weapons. The densely packed sea beasts also lowered their heads and crawled in the huge waves. The war that was originally fierce ended in an instant. The war ended so suddenly that even Lin Yu felt a little surprised. Unexpectedly, just a few words from the Queen of Nature Elf made Medusa Queen Cisna surrender. It's actually a bit dramatic. He thought the war would continue for a few more hours, until the Sea Tribe Army and the Sea Beast Army were completely torn apart and caused huge casualties to the Medusa Empire. Only then would the Sea Tribes led by Queen Medusa see the reality clearly. Lin Yu looked at the elegant and beautiful secretarian. What is the blood curse of the Medusa family? Did you know? Angelia shook her head and said, reporting to my lord, the appearance of the Medusa clan should be after the end of the Holy Demon War. At that time, we had already evacuated from the battlefield of the world. In fact, even if they don't evacuate, the small Medusa clan is not worthy of the angel clan's attention. After all, his ancestor was just a main god. If it were the supreme god, the angel family would pay a lot of attention. Just at this time, Angelia added, I do feel a cursed power in Queen Medusa's bloodline, like gangrene attached to the bones, integrated into their racial inheritance genes. This curse will continue to be passed on and replicated as the race's bloodline is passed on. It has not disappeared even in the past tens of millions of years. With the help of the thread of fate wrapped around the power of the curse, I saw the figure of the curse goddess. I can confirm that the curse of the Medusa family was indeed imposed by the curse goddess. The cursed goddess? Lin Yu looked puzzled. Angelia explained. The real name of the cursed goddess is Clettle. She is a supreme god who has surpassed the level of the main god and is the supreme ruler of the entire cursed pantheon. The cursed pantheon belongs to the camp of the evil pantheon, forged in alliance with the evil gods such as the destruction god, the dark god, the undead god, etc. In terms of camp relationships, the curse god system is a hostile force against our holy and light camp. However, the curse goddess only dares to go against the supreme gods such as the goddess of light and the goddess of sun glory. She doesn't dare to provoke our angel clan. The goddess of light, the goddess of sun radiance, the goddess of moonlight and hunting, etc. are all the supreme gods under the angel clan. They have a very high degree of freedom in their own gods. If you compare the angel clan to an empire, then the sacred and light system headed by the goddess of light, the goddess of sun radiance, and other supreme gods are the kingdom-level forces under this empire. They have independent theocratic governing authority. But he also accepted the orders of the angel clan. The angel clan headed by the Lord of Holy Light is at a higher level. Generally speaking, the angel clan will not interfere in the struggle between the subordinate pantheon and the pantheon of other camps. After all, struggles happen everywhere. Even among the 7 18-winged archangels who came from the same, angel reincarnation pool, there were fights and disagreements, let alone gods from different camps? I can't manage it even if I want to. The goddess of curse is also very clear about this. Therefore, whether the supreme deity of the evil pantheon like her should fight with the goddess of light and others, as long as she does not provoke the angel clan. This is the epitome of some of the power relationships in the battlefield of all realms tens of millions of years ago. After hearing what Angelia said, Lin Yu also once again realized the power of the angel clan. Lin Yu asked, "So, is there a way to lift the blood curse of the Medusa family? With our current strength, if it really doesn't work, it doesn't matter if we wait until we reach the battlefield of the world and find a way to lift it. After all, the source of the curse is a supreme god, and it's not a friendly unit. A little difficulty is normal." Secretarian smiled and said, "My lord, don't worry. It's just a small bloodline curse. The solution is very simple. I will use the power of fate to communicate with the curse goddess later. I believe she will give our angel family some face. The reason why I say it is to give face to the angel family, not to give face to the Lord of Holy Light. It's because the cursed goddess hasn't reached that level yet. Looking at all the worlds in the universe, which supreme god dares to claim that he can give face to the Holy Light? Even the Titan god King Clovis, who inherited the direct bloodline of the Titans, did not dare to do so. Only the descendants of his ancestors could qualify. Then I'll leave this matter to you." Lin Yu sympathized with the tragic fate of the Medusa family. It would be best if it can be solved. Moreover, in the future, the Medusa family will also be his believers. He, the god of faith, has an obligation to solve problems for his believers. Thinking of this, Lin Yu took Angelia's soft little hand and rubbed it hard. "This secretary is really useful. I can go to the hall and enter the bathroom." He decided that he would work harder in the future, be selfless and dedicated. Try to help Secretary and improve her status as soon as possible. Supreme Creator, following your oracle, we have successfully conquered the Dragon Clan. A group of 12-winged fallen angels knelt down in front of Lin Yu with great respect. The Queen of Nature Elf and Queen Medusa also knelt down and worshipped on the ground. They also brought their empire's top officials and strong men of their own clan, and solemnly swore to join the Paradise Kingdom and become an affiliated force under Lin Yu's command. Since then, Lin Yu has conquered 5 Empire-level forces in the surface world alone. They are Orc Royal Court, Bright Holy Sea, Dragon Clan, Natural Elf Empire, and Medusa Empire. One of the prerequisites for becoming the Lord of an island has been completed. The rest is just waiting for the 36 islands in the Gulf, as well as the wild monsters and other local power strongholds in the Far East to be wiped out, so that he can become the owner of the island in one fell swoop. This job is not troublesome. There is an army of fallen angels, plus the cooperation of the Natural Elf Empire. Basically, it only takes 1 to 2 days to complete. In other words, 2 more days at most. Lin Yu can realize her original dream after landing on this floating island. This is something worth celebrating. Immediately, Lin Yu issued an order to the 12-winged fallen angels present to continue clearing other islands in this sea area. During this process, the Queen of Nature Elf and Queen Medusa also looked in awe, especially Queen Medusa, who was in awe and shock. She had already learned from the Nature Elf Queen Gracie that the ruler of the Heavenly Kingdom was the incarnation of the Lord of Holy Light, the human young man in front of her. This is not the speculation of the Queen of Nature Spirits, but it was confirmed by the Goddess of Nature and Spirits. Queen Medusa did not expect that one day she would be able to see the Lord of Holy Light of the Angel Clan with her own eyes. And he also took refuge in the Lord of Holy Light, about to become a believer in the Holy Light. It made her feel as if she was in a dream, a bit unrealistic. After all, the Lord of Holy Light was a mythical existence tens of millions of years ago and once dominated the universe. Even the ancestor of their Medusa family can only be regarded as a small main god in front of the Lord of Holy Light. Although the Lord of Holy Light, at this time, is only in the late stage of demigods. However, the aura emanating from his body was still like an unattainable sacred mountain, making her instinctively look up and revere him. Just the title of Lord of Holy Light was enough to make her infinitely awe-inspiring. After the 12-winged, fallen angels retreated, Lin Yu set his sights on the Queen of Nature Elf and Queen Medusa. The two queens were both extremely beautiful and had impressive figures. Especially Queen Medusa, with a head full of golden snake hair and a thick and long golden snake tail, giving her a very seductive alternative beauty. When he was an ordinary person, Lin Yu was afraid of snakes. But now, seeing the beautiful snake, Queen Medusa, he was not afraid at all. As for the Queen of Nature Spirits, I don't know if it's because Lin Yu has already seen a more perfect goddess of nature and elves, so he always feels that there is something missing in the Queen of Nature and elves. Well, it's the temperament. In terms of appearance alone, the Queen of Nature Elf is not bad. But in terms of temperament, she is far inferior to the goddess of nature and elves. But in this floating island world, the Queen of Nature Elf is already extremely brilliant. Far better than Elf Queen Bernina, Saint of Light Tiffany, and others. Lin Yu said to the two queens, Grassit, you lead your elven army back to the far east and prepare for war. Cisna, you return to the deep sea and move your people to the offshore. From now on, your sea tribe will breed in the coastal waters. Communicate more with the races on land and make this world more prosperous. Follow your will, great Lord of Holy Light. Both queens obeyed their orders respectfully. At this time, Queen Medusa Cisna handed Lin Yu the artifact, the Trident of Poseidon, which represented the ruling authority of the Sea Clan, which meant their Sea Clan's absolute loyalty to Lin Yu. Then, she pressed her head against the ground again. I would like to give my highest tribute to Lin Yu. With a trembling voice, she told about the tragic fate of the Medusa family, begging Lin Yu to take care of her and show mercy to the Medusa family. The great Lord of Holy Light. It would be an honor for our entire Medusa family to receive your blessing. Get up. Lin Yu raised his hand and said, Don't worry, this is just a small matter. Soon, the blood curse that has enveloped your tribe will disappear. Hear this. Medusa Queen Cisna was so excited that her whole body trembled. The senior Medusa officials and powerful men behind her were also excited and ecstatic. This is a promise from the Lord of Holy Light. After tens of millions of years, the Medusa family finally ushered in the light. Praise be to you, great and merciful Lord. If they had known that the Lord of Holy Light of the Angel Clan had come to this world and was willing to help the Medusa clan remove the blood curse, they would have surrendered long ago. Why did he lead the Sea Clan army and Sea Beast army to help the Dragon Clan? But no matter what, the ending is happy. The great Lord of Holy Light gives them hope. Lin Yu glanced at the information about Poseidon Trident. This is a top-notch true artifact. In terms of grade, it is the same as the Holy Sword of Light he gave to the Holy Light elemental elf Lilith. The difference is, the Holy Sword of Light mainly attacks and kills. The main ability of the Poseidon Trident is to control sea tribes and sea beasts, and its own killing power is not very strong. Lin Yu didn't like an artifact of this level. This is true because his vision has been infinitely lifted by the super artifact, Super Source Scepter. Even the divine armor of holy glory he wears is a top-grade true artifact. How can one see a low-grade true artifact? He has more than 20 artifacts like this on him. We haven't found an opportunity or a suitable candidate to reward him yet. So in the end, Lin Yu returned the Poseidon Trident to Queen Medusa Cisna. With this artifact in hand, Queen Medusa can better manage the Sea Clan and those less intelligent sea beasts for him. Before leaving, Lin Yu summoned the surviving senior leaders and strong men of the Dragon Clan. In front of them, the new generation Dragon King of the Giant Dragon Clan was decided. Most of the dragons thought that the new generation of Dragon King would be the smoke dragon that was surrendered by Lin Yu himself. Not only is it Lin Yu's dragon pet, but it is also very powerful. In addition, it is an ultra-rare dragon species, sufficient for the position of Dragon King. The only disadvantage is that it is neither a gold dragon nor a silver dragon. In the Dragon Clan, the golden dragon and the silver dragon are the royal family and have the qualifications to inherit the throne of the Dragon King. But now, the Giant Dragon Clan has become an affiliated force of Paradise Kingdom, and all the giant dragons have been defeated and surrendered. Even if Lin Yu makes the smoke dragon become the Dragon King, they do not dare to object. However, Lin Yu's final decision surprised them. He did not hand over the position of Dragon King to the smoke dragon. Instead, it was given to a silver dragon. This is a small female dragon, guarded by a group of adult silver dragons in the middle. Her identity is quite special. She is the daughter of the leader of the Silver Dragon clan and is called the Silver Dragon Princess. Her father did not die in the battle, but was severely wounded. Lin Yu made Princess Silver Dragon the new Dragon Emperor for a very pure reason. She looks good. The Silver Dragon Princess transformed into a human form and was extremely beautiful. From now on, you will be the Dragon King of the Dragon Clan. Lin Yu looked at the beautiful little female dragon in front of him and said, "After the order of the Dragon Clan is restored, you can go and settle in my sacred city. Obey your oracle, the great Lord of Holy Light." Princess Silver Dragon wears a long dress of gold and silver. She looks like a girl, but she has an excellent figure and a curvy figure. She knelt down in front of Lin Yu like a believer, revealing her perfect body curves, her long silver hair falling vertically, and her respectful expression showing a hint of excitement. She did not expect to suddenly become the ruler of the Dragon Clan. After all, her father is not dead yet. In terms of strength, she is just a giant dragon at the saint level. Going to live in this sacred city was beyond her expectations. She knew that this was the Lord of Holy Light's special care for her. When she arrives in the holy city, she must serve the great Lord of Holy Light and obey the orders of the Lord of Holy Light, just like Tiffany, the Saint of Light, who stands behind the Lord of Holy Light. This is her chance. Once you catch it, it will be very simple to become a god in the future. Then, Lin Yu took out another affiliated city building drawing. Build an auxiliary city on the central Dragon Island. With this affiliated city, teleporting from the dark forest to the central Dragon Island is a matter of seconds, and it is also more convenient for Paradise Kingdom to manage the Dragon Clan. At the same time, Lin Yu gave the Queen of Nature Elf and Queen Medusa two affiliated city building drawings, respectively, and gave them the authority to build the city. Wait until the Queen of Nature Elf builds the city. Lin Yu doesn't need to use this city of heaven if he wants to go to the Elf Holy Land. Affiliated city is a good thing. It can help Lin Yu rule the world more directly. No matter which area has a problem, as long as there is an affiliated city in that area, Lin Yu's Angel Army and Kingdom Army can use the teleportation array to teleport there immediately. At the same time, the existence of auxiliary cities can also intimidate these native races. The most important is, each of the attached cities has a statue of Lin Yu. Under the influence of the Paradise Angel, the native residents who settled in the city would soon become his followers. Let's talk about a very exaggerated figure. With the Land of Fertility, the Dragon Clan, the Medusa Empire, and the Nature Elf Empire surrendering one after another, the number of people under Lin Yu's command has reached more than 1 billion. Among them, about half of the people are from the Land of Plenty. Lin Yu's followers also jumped to over 300 million. Likewise, most are Illuminati cultists from the Land of Plenty. After the Holy Sea of Light officially surrendered, all the power of faith of the Illuminati believers was concentrated on Lin Yu. There are over 300 million believers, which is a very scary number. Now, Lin Yu is able to collect huge power of faith every moment, which lays a solid foundation for him to become a powerful god of faith.
Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe.